How's it going? Welcome back to Dylan Pickups blog. So today we're real informal, just set up in my living room because I got a bunch of guitars around. We're going to talk about something really cool, just have a little bit of fun. We're going to talk about serial switching, or hooking up pickups serial versus parallel. A few people this week have asked us about this and what difference does it make and how do you do it and that sort of stuff. So Jersey Shore Guitar Garage, Jimmy Soldo, he's one of the ones that helps us develop all the wiring and stuff for our cool builds that we do with the different switching and stuff. And he's a fantastic source for, you know, particular applications. But you know, and that's where I get a lot of my stuff from. But let's talk about specifically what we mean by serial switching, because a lot of people, for instance, they see a 5-way switch in a Telecaster and it doesn't exactly make sense. So we will talk about that. I'm going to show you a couple of different things, what serial switching does in a couple of different combinations. The first thing we want to talk about is the fact that serial, two coils set up in series after a fashion, is exactly what a humbucker is. If you go back to our video on how humbuckers work, that's basically what it is two coils in series. So one of the things I wanted to show you today, and the only guitar that I have right now that has this wiring in it, is a Hoboax cigar box. And it has one humbucker in it, but it's got a 5-way switch on it. And without getting into all the details, basically it's a really, really versatile way to make this thing go, okay? And so let me show you something about it. Okay, so we've got it plugged in and we've got the volume up, and I just basically want to show you, this is basically a normal humbucker, which ends up being two coils wound end to end with the finished wires of the coils connected together. So I mean, it's just a humbucker, right? But now in this guitar, what we've done is I can show you the direct comparison to parallel switching, which is like having two pickups next to each other, not in series. Versus in series, like a normal humbucker. My TV cabinet over there is rattling. So what this means is there is a big difference between, and you probably heard it, between two coils that are in parallel, which is what a normal like middle position on a Telecaster is, versus two coils in series, hooked up end to end. What happens a lot of times, because you have the individual, you have the resistance of each pickup, and then it's, for lack of a better word, in this pickup, doubled because it's end to end. You get a treble cut. You can hear that little honkiness in the middle. It's kind of a cool tone. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about on a Telecaster style guitar, something that you're more familiar with. Alright, so this is a normal, just a Telecaster style guitar with Dylan pickups, Tele Reds in it, custom covers and stuff. But this basically, you know, is a normal. This is a normal Telecaster in middle position. Just normal, you know, normal kind of tone. Now if we flip this over to a series tone, notice what happens. It almost sounds like a humbucker, because basically what we're doing is we're hooking it up like we would hook a humbucker up. Two coils in series, but since they're split apart, it doesn't sound exactly like a humbucker because there's distance between them. When we throw some drive to it, it sounds very kind of humbuckerish, you know. That's it sounds very humbuckery. So that's why you do it in a guitar like this. Now there's another way that we oftentimes, especially here, hook up two coils in series, and I'm going to show you that. Okay, when most people see a single hum Telecaster style guitar, typically they're thinking of what is normally like a Nashville switching, or they'll think of pretty much like a Strat style switching, which is not what this particular guitar has. So this guitar is basically, for lack of a better word, we have a push button on the volume, okay? And in the mode of the push button up, basically it's the same exact guitar as you just saw, a 5-way Tele, because we leave the center 2 coils off. So you have a 6K coil right here at the bridge, and you have a normal Telecaster pickup here, and you end up with a very convincing Telecaster tone. Just a, you know, and it's not, like I said, it's convincing when you're playing live. It's not meant to replace a proper Telecaster, but in this particular situation, I played out with this guitar the other night, and I was able to pretty much do everything, because in this situation, it's basically a Tele. When we push this button, here's what happens. This turns from a single coil to a humbucker, so it's basically an uncoil split button for the humbucker. But then the other thing that it does is it now turns this middle pickup on in series with the neck. Now in most of these guitars, when you see a single hum, it's in parallel like a Strat basically. But on this guitar we do it in series like a humbucker, because then we can take these two and sort of use them like a neck humbucker, if that makes sense. And then when it's dirty, it's real crunchy, almost Gretchy kind of. And then you have your normal humbucker on the other end. So the idea being that you can use two single coils in series instead of in parallel like normal people, like you would normally more commonly see. And for lack of a better word, what you end up with here is a 2 humbucker guitar that you can play sort of like a Les Paul, because the middle position sounds very convincing also. Roll some treble off of that. So it gives you a lot of versatility. And the only reason I made this video today is because I wanted to show you kind of what happens when you put two coils in series. But not a lot of people do it. Now there are a couple of side effects to it. One is because you have, let's say you have two 6K coils in a row, you know, like for a Stratocaster, and you put 2 of them in series, there's a couple things that's going to happen. One is you're going to have, it's going to be all that resistance hooked up in a row, and so you're going to get a little bit of a treble cut, because it's going to, like we talked about, almost like on a high output humbucker, as the whine count goes way up, some of the highs start to go away. The other thing that'll happen is you'll get that little mid-range honkiness to it, which, you know, that's what humbuckers do. And then you'll also get, depending on how you hook it up. Now, the way we hook this up, we can get noise canceling out of it. If you hook them up end to end, one pickup right after the other, then you will end up with more noise because you get the noise of one pickup added to the second pickup. If you hook them up finish to finish, it works like a humbucker and it ends up being hum canceling. So provided the polarity of the magnets is different. So just think about that. But so it takes some pre-thought to take a guitar like this and put 4 coils in it. When we design this guitar, you almost have to treat it like 4 separate coils instead of 3 pickups, because you got to make sure that the polarity is in a row the correct way, and you know, north south basically, and you got to make sure that the pickup that is on and the coil that is on with the other pickup is in phase and all this kind of stuff. So it does take some thinking through. You got to draw it out, but that just gives you an idea what can be done with series setting stuff, because it's fantastic, because we can go from this, you know, like a single coil beautiful and all I have to do is push a button and flip a switch and I'm at a humbucker on the neck, on the bridge. I can go from super sweet tone to super gnarly tone, especially once we get dirty. And immediately go clean without even touching anything. And I didn't touch anything on the floor, no pedals, no nothing. What I'm using today is the Fuchs 4 Aces amp with the clean and dirty channel. I'm not using, I got a bunch of pedals here, but I'm not using any of them. It's just the channel switching on the floor. That's it. So it shows you the versatility that can happen when you go from one single coil, nice and super clean, turn the volume all the way up, go to the bridge humbucker with a flip of a switch. So, and that's the thing. So now this guitar can play, think of all your favorite single coil songs, think of all your humbucker on the neck songs, all your humbucker on the bridge songs, all your telly twangy southern, you know, like chicken picking stuff, super heavy stuff can be played on this. I tuned this down to a low D. My levels and stuff aren't all set so I can show you the real heavy stuff, but it just gives you an idea. This thing can be used for just about anything. So don't get stuck in a rut of I want humbuckers or I want single coils, because there's a lot of different possibilities of how to even hook this stuff up. If you have more questions about it, definitely give me a call and we can help you. Even with the pickups you already have, to be able to wire a guitar differently to make it do all kind of different stuff. Provided you have quality, you know, pickups that have the wiring capabilities. So that's it, man. This is just a little fun thing to show you what we can do, you know, what is possible. And if you have any questions or you want to add something to this, we're going to talk about how we use out of phase next time. So that's going to give you some cool possibilities. Just get your wheels turning for what is possible. And you know, these fun videos and jamming from the living room are pretty cool. So definitely ask any questions, contribute some ideas. DylanPickups.com, Dylan Pickups on Facebook, Dylan Pickups on YouTube, and come and find us, and we will see you next time.